Oh, hi there. It's Wednesday, and I have nothing major on the plans. The docket today, I'm going to play some Shogi Wars Mate Battle, and one of the things that has happened now recently, I've lost a couple games on stream here while I've had Mate on the board. So why not go back to Mate Battle? I've also you started playing Mate Battle last week, I guess it was, and I played some of the best shogi that I can play. So maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe it's all just a big coincidence. But I'm gonna go back. It's fun. It's difficult. It's stressful, but I'm going to do it. And that's really it. So let me get this out of the way. We've got Shogi Wars. We have, what is that? Is that an 8? That's an 18Q. My glasses here at this 18Q, it looks like either 18 or 16. I think it's 18Q. And the scene is here. I have to stick with this scene in order to be able to show the scores for the players in this mode. So that's what I'm going to do. And let's, as Captain Jellicoe would say, let's get her done. BMD Ayaka, hello, good morning. Mate battle. Put my Ito-en green tea down. Okay. Wow is the username, I think? All right. Boy, how do I, oh! There was a lance. Oof, Maron. Retry. Oh, he's moving. He is schmoving. He's schmoving.
2分30秒
Where are we here? That's not it. That's not it. Resign or retry. Gosh, where is it? What the? I don't have a diagonal? Oh, there we go. Oh, that's, hold on. No. Ah, boy. Oh boy. Where the heck? Ah, boy.
1分30秒
I just don't see it. And surely it's an easy one. I just don't see it. We've got 1 minute and 18 seconds here, and he is stuck as well. There we go.
1分
Oh gosh. Retry. Yeah, there's just so many, like...
30秒
He's way ahead.
20秒 相手も強かったね
GG. Good game. He finished all 10. Can we give a thumbs up? GG. That one really stumped me. I guess while we're here, let me see the analysis of that last one. Let's do some What do I want to do? Bishop. Drops a silver. I take, no promote. He takes. I take. I drop the rook. He goes down. And I have a gold. No, I've got to come down here. I come down here. I check here, and then if he goes there, I get the 1 gap. And then if he defends, I have the gold. So I'm saying, oops. I got to edit. So I'm saying this. I wish it would. I really wish this mode would give their answers so we could try it. I think they did this, in which case I do this. It's almost pointless to do this because I might be missing a response. But anyway, he blocks. I do this. He takes. I drop the rook. If he goes up, it's a gold drop on 3-1. If he goes down, I get the 1 gap. You know, he blocks. I get the... Well, I'll just use the silver. Drop the silver. And there's that. I think that's it. All right. Track that loss.
Loss. Current streak is 1 loss.
It'll be interesting to see the eventual rating for this. So let's go. More mate battle. I'm not sure what skill level I have on. Thought harder. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Hey.
2分30秒。
Ooh. Oh, my horse is not in the right angle here. That's fine. I'm slow. My mouse is falling off the mouse cursor. Or the mouse, Get the 1 gap. But yes. This is just mate, right? Yes.
1分30秒。
Oh, goodness. Oh boy. Take. No. Okay.
1分。
Oh. Interesting. Wow. What? What's the score? I'm up by. Okay, let's retry this. So we take.
30秒。
Take. Kick it. Throw this out there, and then we drop the gold. Okay. Arigatou gozaimashita.
Win. Current streak is 1 win.
those just flowed. So I'll take it. All right, what else? Do another.
あなたが先手です。
よろしくお願いします。
対局開始。
No, retry.
$2分30秒。
This he blocks and then what? No, gold. What is going on? Oh, gold and then knight. Gold and then knight. Gosh. Took way too long.
$2分。
Okay, where are we? Bishop. There. He has no pieces in hand.
$1分30秒。
Okay. Wow. I drop here, he takes, and I walk. And I walk him all the way. And this. Let's try. Knight. Nope. There's no good way to check. I've got this. All right.
おめでとう。やったね。
Win. Current streak is
What's
2
that
wins.
sound? Is that a follow? Oh no, that was the Shogi Wars rank up. That was the Shogi Wars rank up. Oh boy. Continuing to battle here. Tense. It's tense. Maybe I should have put the heart rate monitor on. I think that's what I should have done. So next time I do mate battle, if there's a next time I do mate battle, we'll do that. Try again. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. A sleeve rook showdown.
対局開始。
What are we doing here? Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Took a long time. Took way too long. Ah!
2分30秒。
Whoa! Whoa! Let's retry. Knight. Boy, oh boy. I have a rook in. I will have a rook in hand. Bishop, mate. Easy mate.
2分
Okay, let's get the one gap. Oh gosh. Oh boy. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Did not, wow.
1分30秒
Silver. I'm so slow with this mouse. Gold. I have only one gold, so I can drop the gold. He comes up. Drop the gold here. Drop the gold, and then take with the rook. And bishop.
30秒
Bishop. Yes.
20秒
Where's my king? Where's his king? There's his king. I drop here. He jumps up. I
10秒
get the rook. And then... Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, shoot. Okay.
オッズー
Arigatou gozaimashita.
Win. Current streak is 3 wins.
Oh, Chronoses. Chronoses, hello, welcome to the channel. You just played against me? Nice, nice. Ah, Tenmakuko. What was this last one? What was this last one? So he did this, and then of course he came up. Well, not of course. He could have taken here, but then I would have dropped the rook. No, then I would have dropped the gold. He comes up, and I drop the... Hey, Adrian Shogi, nice to see you. Oh, then I would have come back with the horse, if he takes with the horse. Okay. So he did... I did this. I dropped the rook. He took. Then I came up with the silver. I come up with the silver. I should come up here. I came up here and he went this way. So I come up here. He has to go back. And that's mate. All right. I think that's it. I think that's it. Is the chat showing up? Great, great, great. All right. Lorenzo Coco, hello. You've now lost your third weekly game in a row against your friend. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't know if that misspelling of weekly is intended, but it's perfectly used. Your weekly game, like you played weekly. So if it's misspelled, it's a perfect intentionally, well done. If it's unintentional, You're an unintentional genius. What is he playing and what are you playing? What are the openings? Like, why are you losing? Why are you losing these 3 games? While I wait for that, I will say do not get discouraged because actually I don't think I tracked that win. I didn't track that win.
Win. Current streak is 4 wins.
I will say not to get discouraged because I have gone on streaks of months, you know, not winning a game at the club that I go to every week. So I will just say, do not get you are not alone. You are not alone. You're launching speculative attacks. Ooh. Wait, is your opponent at your level, above your level, or below your level? You know, I find myself making speculative attacks when the opponent, especially when the opponent is below my level, but I'm improving that. But also when my opponent is above my level. Because I sometimes feel like, well, I can't read this all the way through. I don't see a perfect refutation, but if it works, it's gonna work. Like, and I find myself falling into that kind of mentality. And your opponent patiently building Yagura, then counterattacks. Yeah, the patience against speculative attacks is always tough. So you sacrificed a bishop for a silver to open the 4th file in ranging rook. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I don't know if that's usually good or usually bad. So, you know, I'm not like a 4th file player. So I don't know if that's thematic of that, but it doesn't sound like it. Just check something here. Sorry. Just checking something. All right. All right. I guess, should we keep doing this? Does anyone have any other suggestions for like shogi stuff? You shouldn't need to sacrifice the bishop if the opponent is building Yagura versus 4th file rook. Oh, that's a good point. Because Yagura seems like it might not be ideal against Furibisha. I had seen that there was going to be an 81-0 game that seemed like it might be interesting, but it is not on. It's not on. So I'm going to leave there. Let's check the season pass. See what our season pass points are doing here. Okay. 10 games a week. Use Kishin. 21 games in a season. All I have left, I think, to get this month is another analysis ticket, I think. I think that's all I can afford. Since I already have this avatar. All right. The computer thought it was an inaccuracy, indeed, but you really messed up by not pushing the pawn enough. Yeah, you know, there's a lot to middle game mistakes are often pretty they're bounce backable. You know, you can make up with a strong attack, and so it sounds like, you know, potentially, as long as you didn't open up like your file for the other person to promote their rook or something, it sounds like that might, you know, be a mistake, but something you could deal with. Did you play the speculative attack because you're frustrated that you've lost 2 in a row? Like, are you semi on tilt, causing the third loss? I'm curious. I'm gonna start a game. I'll start a game while we do this. You might be tilting. Oh, this is an Urashino Ryu player. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu, my friend. Oh, this is oh yeah, he can't go up that way. Oof! 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 Retry. He's moving. He's moving.
2分30秒
He's moving. Knight.
2分
What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? That's not gonna allow. Let's retry. Knight. Pawn.
1分30秒
Goodness gracious. What is going on? Boy, come on, come on, come on. Knight comes up.
1分
There we go. Knight, rook, gold, silver, rook.
30秒
Is this gonna work? No.
20秒
Shoot. What can we do? What can we do?
10秒
GG. GG. Nice. Nice. Couldn't happen to a nicer person. Give him a like. Urashino Ryu player.
Loss.
The rook. I
Current streak is
I
one
don't.
loss.
I was trying to make the rook from above. I don't see it. My plan was going to be to sacrifice the gold, have the lance take, put the silver here, and then get the rook. But if I drop the silver, the king can run, and I don't know if I have anything there. So, like, oops. So like if we do this, he goes here. do this. Oh, wait, that's not. Hold on. Retry. Redo. Back. Edit. So I was thinking this. He comes down. Gold. He takes. Silver. You know, if he takes, I get this, which I still don't think is it. Rook 9-4. Oh, 9-3. Wait. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness gracious. If I had a lance in hand, I would have seen this immediately. If I had a lance in hand, I would have seen this immediately. That's so funny. Oh, man. All right, that's good. That's a good one. I even during the thing looked to see like if this was going to, but no, you know, I'm blocked by my pawn. Cool. All right. So did I track the loss? I did. Let's do another. But anyway, you say this type of attack would have worked in the past, so you're happy to sacrifice a lot. That's an interesting discussion point. Does that mean are you saying that so has your opponent improved? So like, were you beating this opponent relatively easily and then they've improved and now the same stuff that you used to do is no longer working? Like you talking about having to adapt. We were equal. Now he seems to have an edge. Okay. Interesting. That's tough. You know, it's tough to adapt to the same person as they get better. Let's do another. Oh, we got a bunch of. We got 9 on YouTube right now. 2 on Twitch. よろしくお願いします。Come on. Okay, where are we dropping, fam? Wow.
2分30秒。
Down here? Can I do this way? Where is it? There, we got this. Gold. Takes. Knight. Oh gosh, he's moving. We gotta move.
1分30秒。
Oh, we got this also. Is this... I don't think this works. Oh boy. It does not work. Does not work. Try. Boy. Retry. Oh!
1分
It's double backed. Goodness. Okay. Come on. Jeez. Oh, this doesn't work that way. One, two, three. Knight.
30秒
Okay.
20秒
Oh, 10 to 8. Good game. Good game. Good game. Close one. Hey, Foradu, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Good game.
Loss. Current streak is 2 losses.
Ooh. Getting close. We're getting close to the break-even point now. It was going so well. A couple of those took me a little too long. I'm starting to get fuzzy-headed.
あなたが先手です
All right, right hand rook showdown. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
対局開始
Oh boy, this is a complicated one. No, it wasn't. Where's our rook? Where's our this? Where's our that? Uh...
2分30秒
Oh, we don't want him going out this way. We don't... Oh. Bishop... Rook.
2分
Ah, I'm so slow. Which way? So slow to move the mouse. Where are we going here? Do I have a bishop? I do not.
1分30秒
Take, Oh, I'm so slow.
1分
Rook, gold, and then
最高の将棋だね
Win. Current streak is 1 win.
My mouse movement, I'm so slow to move, and I get it into this point. I get the mouse. I wish I could show the pad. I get the mouse into a point where it's at the bottom of the pad, and I'm actively trying not to pick up my mouse. I was actually practicing off stream. I'm trying to actively work on not picking up my mouse so much so that I don't bang the table, so I don't get banging sounds coming through the mic. That, like, I'm trying to, like, use my shoulder to kind of move it in. I don't know what solves that problem. Like having one of those suspended hanging mics, I think would help. So right now I have a mouse pad under my mouse. I have a mouse pad under 2 books on top of the mic. So here's the mic, and this is sitting on top of 2 books and a mouse pad to try to cushion it, just so I don't get as much of those sort of these sounds coming through. And you know, I noticed that it comes through a lot when I pick up my mouse and then put it back down. You could probably hear this. So I'm trying to move my mouse completely by sliding. And I'm slow enough as it is to begin with, so that just makes me even slower. Let's see. What else is happening? Oh, California Extreme. So I got a message. California Extreme tickets are ready. So if any of you are near California or would like a trip to California for an amazing pinball and arcade cabinet convention, California Extreme is going to be the weekend of July. Oh boy, now I can't remember. Let me see if this message has it. August 8th and 9th. Santa Clara, California. Beautiful Santa Clara, California. So we're here, coming up, and should we play? I'm gonna look at 81 Dojo again. Just want to see if there's anything. There's a TTK game on. Woo! And it just started. Let's watch this. Dan1234, ISF representative from Mexico, who actually won the Group B tournament. So the way the tournament worked is that there's a preliminary, I believe it's a Swiss, and based on your record, if you win 2, you get to Group A. If you lose 2, you get to Group B. So that everyone can play, you know, for something. So obviously the main tournament is Group A, you know, of course. But Group B has tons of great players. So it's still an incredibly strong tournament. And Dan1234, I believe, apologies to the actual winner if it wasn't Dan1234, but I think Dan1234 won that Group B in 2025. Yeah, I think it was 2025. I don't think it was 2024. Whatever year it was. And yeah, so strong player from Mexico. We are already in we're already in a funny match, an attacking game. So like this king is in the center of the board. Presumably he's playing static rook, but like there's nowhere else for this king to go. And he's got a rook, but Emerald MV, I don't know much about this player, has 3 pieces and an attack ready to go. You know, this is a threat. This is a threat. So his last move was just moving his king. Very interesting. Can't say I completely understand that. I guess the idea might be to try to make the edge and then drop the rook and get the lance and the bishop. Not sure. Let's follow the latest position here. Vito Das Boat, good to see you. Hello. Hope you're doing well. You say you were in Tokyo. You had the maximum sleep of 3 hours a day. Awesome. And you visited Kobin Cafe. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. Kobean Cafe is amazing. I follow them on Twitter. I live vicariously through their photos and their tweets. And they have a YouTube channel as well. If you are interested, check them out. I don't have it handy here, but Kobean Cafe, they haven't added anything in years, I think. But what they have of years ago, especially if you're a Nakabisha player, is pretty good stuff. You lost 2 games from the owner and from the other guy. A young one who plays only for 2 months, but 30 to 40 games a day. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. More importantly, what did you buy anything from Kobean Cafe? What did you drink at the cafe? And what did you drink at the cafe? And what did you buy? What is the what's the meaning of this? What's the meaning of this versus this versus this? Are you threatening a night drop? Are you threatening I mean, the lance drop seems really good. Potentially. The lance drop is potentially good, but then he slides over, and then what? You can pull you can pull the horse back to get the bishop. Oh, I see. Yeah. You give up on this attack. Maybe you figure you're not going to be winning this attack with a horse. Maybe. But having a defensive horse back here is going to do wonders for your defense. Good day, Emperor X. Great to see you. Maybe we need to start listening to some David Goggins. You guys, I just heard of that guy for the first time when you brought him up last week. I see Goggins and I think Walter Goggins. Who is now, I've got to say, Walter Goggins, I just recently saw him in what is that? I think it was the car insurance that begins with a P, I think. He was doing a car insurance ad with like a guinea pig. And I'm just thinking, what in the world? He's a great actor. What is he doing in this guinea pig to be car ad? Maybe it's tough times for actors. Or maybe they just offered him a ton of money, or maybe he just really enjoys hanging out with guinea pigs. But I think he's a fantastic. What do I know? But I think he's a fantastic actor. Much in the same style of Ben Mendelsohn, although hot take, I think Ben Mendelsohn is the best actor alive. Very hot take. I'm sure that's a very hot take. I am such a huge Ben Mendelsohn fan. God, he was good. He was in Bloodline. Oh God, he's so just perfectly real. Since this game was not long, I'm just gonna scroll through what happened. Oh gosh. Okay, so we got what? That's not right. So that's how we got there. Wow. Crazy. Is this Sodebisha? Is this Sodebisha? Joseki? Like, is this just? Is this Sodebisha Joseki? Is this anti Sodebisha Joseki? What is even happening here? I feel like Dan is like I said, I don't know much about MRL MV, but Dan I think is way too strong to get just completely tripped up on like move 3. So this must be something. But boy, I don't like it. I'm gonna refill my tea. I'll be right back. I either forgot to leave my water at temp or my wife got the water and didn't put it back on to heat, so my cannot make the tea. So you don't know. A silver 3-8 is a pretty strange move. You're not even sure what the idea is. Yeah, what is this protecting? Well, it's protecting these 2 pawns. Oh, that's 3-2. Well, silver 3-8. Yeah. It's like you're making Mino, but this is a rook. Of all the moves to make, that seems... I don't know. Could he possibly be looking to come up here and exchange things off? And get the rook out of here? And then come to the other side? Because he does have another rook. And once if and when he exchanges this pawn off, he'll have this pawn drop. Hey, Yloigh! Oh, some reason Lee Shogi doesn't show me as being live. Interesting. Yeah, it usually does. It usually does. Let me take a look. Maybe it's just, maybe their checker is down. I think my title has Lee Shogi in it. Yeah, weird. Let me see. Let me check my title. Yeah, LeeShogi.org study. put that in there. See if they check it. I guess he's looking to lure this guy back and then drop the knight. Yeah, all of this is like, if he does this and then he drops a knight, you can't push here because take, and you're hitting the rook. You're still hitting the rook. If he takes, then you got this. So I think that's tough. It'd be interesting to see how he's going to defend this. I don't think he'll throw another rook back. It's possible. It's possible he succumbed to the same problems that I have. Is that Sode Bisha makes me do weird things. He can play King 4-8 after Knight 3-6. Knight drop 3-6. Well, he doesn't have a knight. So after Knight drop 3-6, he can play King 3-9. Oh, if he comes up. Wait. He can play King 4-8. Then after the knight, King 3-9. After knight takes 2-8, promote. King takes. You get Mino and you sabaki your rook for the knight. Oh, so this was... I mean, I was reading this completely seriously. I mean, that's... Figuring you already have a rook in hand. So you push. You push. You take. Rook takes, pawn drop, rook back to 2-5. I think that would save, it would save the bishop and get this out of there and get the horse out of this diagonal. I think. I don't know if... So I feel like silver 3-8 doesn't make sense if he does not take with the rook here. Although if he takes with the rook, we take the bishop. He can't promote. He can't promote because the horse is watching and the silver is guarding here. So he takes the... So he would take the lance. Then we can badger the rook, and then drop a pawn on 2-8 as Gote. Ooh, yeah, maybe that's rough too. That's tough. I think that's tough too. Taking the pawn seems not ideal to me. So I'm thinking right now, if I was Gote, he takes, I take. If he takes, then we just drop the pawn. And maybe even later threaten the knight drop. Threaten the knight drop. Nah. And Dan disconnected. He just disconnected right after that move. So hopefully he'll be back any second now. Sente still has pawn. Well, now has pawn 2-2 after they did it. So the question is, do you run the bishop first? Yeah, I'm thinking I like the bishop run. But then again, does the bishop run just run into this knight drop? This is a good knight drop too. As Gote, I think you don't. I don't know. What do I know? Yesterday, like yesterday's games, I couldn't win one games. So what do I know? But like it feels like he might be rushing. I don't know. Like this wins the silver. Get another silver in hand. It sets up a rook, a nice rook drop. But this is very strong. This battery is very strong. The king has plenty of area to run. Huh. That's an interesting move. Huh. I'll allow that. He only has one. Gote only has one pawn, so the pawn drop here is not going to do anything. I guess you drop the pawn. He takes. You take the pawn with the silver. Knight takes the lance. Then you drop the pawn on the head of the silver. Maybe. I think this is what I would be looking at right now. Pawn drop, takes. But then what is it's then assuming takes, then drop the pawn. Or do you just shove it in? Or do you just shove the silver in? So if he takes, do you just drop the silver? No, 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 because the lance is still being blocked. So if he takes, I can't edit. Oh, I think you can. So like if takes this yeah, I don't know about this. The knight is stuck. Then you take the knight, and you get at least 2 knights for the bishop. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's got so much time. I'm guessing he's thinking. I'm guessing he's thinking about what happens after that pawn. And this is a practical question, I guess. How do you handle that? How do you handle that? You know it's an only move. But are you going to spend your time? I guess this isn't Byoyomi. He's not in Byoyomi, so maybe there's no point to using up your own time to think about future moves. So if you take, you know it's an only move. It doesn't matter what comes next. You'll think about it on your opponent's clock. And then if your opponent moves quickly, you think about it on your clock. In which case, you use the same amount of time you would have thought anyway. And you have the potential of being able to think a lot on the opponent's clock if they take a long time. Yeah, so it seems, yeah, that seems kind of like a strategically a no, like a, strategically it seems like if you know that this is your only move, you've got to just make it. Unless you're in Byoyomi, in which case you can think about the future, through your time. But there's no reason to think 2 minutes, I guess, on this particular move. If you know it's the only one you're going to do. I just wonder if he's seeing other potential drops, or like pulling this back seems like a potential. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You have to take. You have to take. Oh, gold drop 4-8. Yeah, I could see that. That is a possibility. Defend it one more time. That doesn't, to me, that doesn't, like, just off the cuff, that doesn't seem so great, because you're still going to take. You're still going to lose at least a piece for this lance. You give up some of the value of this knight. Gosh, I've been doing this. You give up the value of this knight. For anyone interested, since whoa, since someone mentioned it or asked about it on on yesterday's YouTube video, the program I'm using is called Screen Brush. It's on macOS, Screen Brush, to be able to bring up this. I wouldn't mind having a better program that lets me do nicer arrows, or like shows my cursor a little nicer. The real problem here, looking ahead for Sente, I think the real problem here is that once all this stuff is cleared, if he thinks he's going to be taking this pawn, think again, because Gote has a bishop. So it's going to be absolutely free. So if he takes and then he takes, this gold is now dead. This gold is now dead. Well, I guess it's not free. He could drop a rook. He could drop a rook behind. He could drop a rook here. And then we take the no, he can't because he's got to drop. So he'd have to drop the rook here to block the bishop, and then he takes, and we drop a pawn. Yeah, the danger of an uncastled king. Oh, he's afraid of. Wow. So he doesn't want to lose this horse. So he doesn't want to lose this horse, or maybe just trade it off, get the tempo. You can take on 5-6. But that doesn't really threaten anything, right? That allows the no, it doesn't allow the take. Yeah, this is still, yeah, you can't take that knight. You cannot take that knight. Yeah. And another pawn here won't do any good because we'll just take this pawn. This is tough. This is tough. Outside of being a Sodebisha player, it seems like Emerald has played this game really well. This is TTK, I think? Okay, TTK, yes. Yes, taking the pawn is a massive threat, right? Although you got to see what's going on here. You've got to at least be aware. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I mean that's a dead it's a dead silver regardless. MZ6075. Good evening. Hello. Konbanwa. You're not going to take this? You're not going to take this rook? Taking the rook allows you to drop the bishop. It allows you to do a lot of stuff. Oh! No! I don't like it. Me no likey. Me no likey. Me no likey. Oh, no. Don't, no. No. I don't like. We'll see. We'll see. What do I know? What do I know? Maybe this is brilliant. Maybe this is brilliant. I don't know. This feels so much scarier to me now. So much scarier. Let's see. Boy. I'm really, let me look back at this. So like we take, and now we have, you know, we're potentially, all he has is a rook, so we're potentially threatening, we're threatening lots of Tsumero. If he takes, we can still just drop our bishop. Yeah, boy, oof. Okay, so anyway, he ignored the pawn. Extremely scary. But still maybe it's okay. He cannot give a gold or a rook. NinWorld, hello! Yeah, he doesn't know the problem. The game is about capturing the rook. Well, it's very helpful to capture a rook when you can drop it back for essentially mate.
30秒 40秒
I'm trying to think about what this bishop, the meaning of this bishop.
50秒
I'm guessing to try to defend this square.
4 5
I'm just not quite seeing it. If you take this knight, no. You cannot give a gold. You cannot give a gold. If you are Gote, you cannot give a gold. I don't. Do you do something like this? Do you? Oh, the rook was freeing the rook, or the king move. So you're saying the king move is to break this pin so you can use the lance. Yeah, I dream Shogi. You say this is similar to what happens when you think you've won the game. You play overly, Eric. You put quotes safe, and in reality, you're just not winning the game. Preaching to the choir. Yeah. This is that silver. I think that silver move feels very much like a classic Shogi Dad style losing move. But they're both good. You know, they're both good. I'm sure they've got ideas. He's got 9 minutes and 20 seconds plus 60-second Byoyomi to come up with an answer here. If we take the rook and they take the knight, the gold, do we have mate? Starting with the rook drop. So let's say rook. If he comes out this way, we get the one gap. And there may be something. If he comes over here, we get the silver drop. Then he runs. We get the knight drop. He runs. We take the lance. No, the lance would already be gone. The lance would already be gone. But we drop a silver. Oh boy, it's a tough one. It's a tough read. It's a tough read. They could just take another. Yeah, they can take the gold with. They can take the gold with check. We'd have to take with the silver. And that's 2 golds. They could probably defend well enough after. Well, they couldn't. Well, they couldn't take another gold because we'd be checking. Like, can we check? Can we find? So my question was, if we take the rook and they take the gold, do we have mate? You know, in which case they can't take the gold.
40秒
That's sneaky. That's a sneaky move. That's a sneaky move. At some point, we may be looking at this. So at least you sort of, you sabaki off that rook. Instead of just giving it for free.
40秒 50秒 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9
Drop the pawn. What's he going to do? What is he going to do? Does he have mate? That is the question. It is the question. He's starting it. Let's see. Let's see. Now silver drop. Okay, as I suspected, and now it gets a little hairier. Now it gets a bit hairier. I think we probably have enough. You know, I think we probably have enough to mate with. But boy, I'm not the one having to read it. He has 7 minutes though. So this is not a Byoyomi thing. Yeah, the problem is the king can't quite run up because then we get the one gap and it is surely going to be over there. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, wait, what? Is that a misclick? Or... I mean, he does have time. He has time. He has time. He cannot be checked. So he's in Zeto, as they say. He cannot be checked.
30秒
Maybe that's a mature move. Instead of me trying to go for the mate, the thing is though, he does have 7 minutes. So if there's a mate, I think you still look for it. So one gap. One gap, gold over, horse over. King up, silver drop is mate. That'll do it as well, I think. So he can run to this side here, but then I guess you get your bishop. No! Woo! Well, if he goes to the side, then you just take the rook. Okay, that'll work too. That'll work too. That'll work too. Now dragon takes. Whoa. Styling with the drops. GG. Interesting game. Very interesting game. I cannot say I've ever seen one like that, especially not for players of this level. Like this makes me think that this must be some sort of Joseki. We've got an interesting conversation going on. GG. Dan says 2 strong moves. Emerald MV says in all caps FFFF and then lowercase ff. And then Dan123 says hopeless for me. Boy, apologies. I'm going to copy this one into Lee Shogi. I just want to see that opening. If that is a thing. This is where I would love an opening explorer for Lee Shogi, you know, with just or Shogi Wars, you know, with thousands and billions, you know, with billions of games played at the amateur level from Shogi Wars. I'd love to see an explorer. Let me add this to I'll just put it stream WSL games. It's close enough to WSL. Taking the rook is bad. It's a poison rook. It's a poison rook. And then this was obviously real bad. I'm just very surprised. I'm very surprised. You know, because Dan is so strong. But yeah, Sodi Bisha sometimes makes us do weird things. GG. GG. All right. I think that's I don't want to dig too deeply into that one. Der Doctor, I see logging into 81 Dojo. Oh man, I would love to see a Der Doctor game. That's who I miss. I miss seeing Der Doctor. My tea will be ready now. So I'm going to go get that tea, or that water will be more than ready now. So I'm going to go get that and be right back. Thanks. All right, I'm back. Sorry for taking so long. It was on the with the tea. I when I went back there, it still wasn't hot because I had forgotten to press the hold button on the electric tea kettle. So it's been a comedy of errors for me today in terms of the tea, and yeah, we'll see. Is this let me try to copy this. Shioto. Boy, my Japanese reading is not the greatest. I'm sorry. On YouTube, let me make sure that the chat is still coming. Oops, I haven't set my scene. The chat hopefully is still coming through. Yeah, so Shotgun Ito V3. Okay. Did I know that a new Shogi app called Kyo is being released tomorrow as a competitor to Shogi Wars? Yes. Yes, I do. And it's scheduled for the 12th here. I'm going to try to use it if we can use it outside of Japan. A couple months ago, I've tried to contact the company behind Kyo, to do some sort of promotional activities, to do some pre-release kind of activities, and they completely ignored me, which is understandable. But and they chose some VTubers to work with, which is perfectly understandable. That's their target audience, and I understand why they wouldn't care about me. It's a little disappointing that they don't even respond to my emails, but anyway, yes. Long story short, yes, I do know it's being released tomorrow. I will try it. My initial thoughts. I am not very that aesthetic and that sort of game is not really my thing. I'm a dad. I'm older. I'm lame. The sort of the underage girlies with animal ears thing doesn't quite hit for me. But if the shogi is good and the application has a lot of nice features, I'll definitely check it out. But yes, I do know, and I am cautiously optimistic that it's going to be a fun app, and I'm cautiously optimistic that it's going to help grow the shogi world and get more people playing and excited about the game. And then maybe at some point they'll see fit to translate it to English, and maybe that'll start helping the English shogi, the English language speaking shogi world, or basically the shogi world outside of Japan. I'm hoping, it would be nice. It would be nice. It would be nice. I see a game started, so I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this. I am a KKR, I am an I Dream of Shogi fanboy, and I will watch. But I have to flip the board. To watch. If we're going to cheer and we're going to send our energy, we have to be looking like we are the one playing. So unfortunately, that means we don't see his great avatar, because we'll just see my face. We'll see my face over his avatar. Unfortunately, I don't have another 81 Dojo layout here. Unless I just turn off my video. But I'll stick with this. Oh, and my brain here, because he was he's Gote, and my brain still hadn't readjusted to the board. I saw this Mino Castle, and I thought, like, wait, what? I Dream of Shogi's making a Mino Castle. Do I have a set of the check pieces? Yes, I have two sets of those. I have two sets of the check pieces. I carry the check pieces in my show. I have a shogi tote bag that I keep the kaya board and the clocks. I bring to the Sunday club. I bring a kaya board, even though we don't usually use it. I bring a kaya board. I bring a vinyl board. I bring I think my one character wood pieces. The Ono Ore, I bring a plastic set of pieces, the plastic tournament set, and I bring the Shogi.cz. And then I have a chest bag, like those traditional little chest bags that you roll up the board. I have one of those, which I don't carry around much anymore, but that also has a set of Shogi.cz in there, along with a Nekomato clock and some other pieces. So yeah, I do. But I haven't used them in a long time because I've been going to East Bay Shogi Club, and the leader there has carved his own pieces. So we use a piece set that he carved himself, but he has also done a number of Shogi.cz pieces. And so if we are going to use Shogi, like if beginners came and we were going to use Shogi.cz, we would use his sort of pieces. And I don't know if he completely carved those himself or used 3D printing, but the piece set that we use every week is he carved and painted, carved and lacquered and things like that. The his Shogi.cz piece set that he made is beautiful. The only criticism of that piece set is that because of how he constructed the pieces are flat. They're not the pieces themselves are flat. They're not that slight incline that shogi pieces actually have. But other than that, it's fine. The piece set that he carved is, proper, like, sloped sides. Boy, it sure looks good. To my eyes, it looks very good for I Dream of Shogi. K_Ricky2006. The sign of an old person is that when you see a date, and you think, oh boy, he's young, but that date like refers to if that is his birth date, he's 20 years old. Literally a man. And I see 2006. I'm thinking like, boy, expecting like, in my mind it conjures up the idea of a little kid on the other end of the board. So he's going to take the silver. Yeah, he's going to take that silver and then come back and then he takes the knight, and then what? And then what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I was going to say the knight drop is coming, although I was expecting the knight drop to come up here. So this is what a good player does. So, I'm heavy-handed. My initial thought is dropping the knight on 4-5, and the big brain is dropping it back. You're threatening this fork, which is much nastier. Do we have a lance possibility here? No, we've got to do something about this. I think we have to do something about this. Bishop? No, because he's got a silver. Lollybee, hello! Why are there 3 shogi clubs in that area? Why scatter around? Oh, well, in so there is, we have in North Carolina, in Northern California, there's the Pacific Ocean on one side, and there's a bay. There is an area which is traditionally called Silicon Valley, which is the South Bay. There's the South Bay. Then if you go up that area, you get to San Francisco. And then on the other side of the bay, and these are connected by bridges, you have the East Bay. And driving-wise, South Bay, East Bay, and San Francisco are all about, I'll just for without a lot of precision, I'll just say they're about an hour apart. So in the South Bay, you know, there's a Tuesday night club that also meets occasionally on Saturdays, and they meet at night. So, you know, an hour trip is a long way. And the driving out here is pretty miserable. It's not only an hour or more, it's an hour of like sort of the most grueling kind of driving. So there's a club in the South Bay that meets at least once a week. There is the club in the East Bay, which is out by University of California, Berkeley, which is which meets every week on Sundays. And then there is the San Francisco Shogi Club, which meets only once, which meets once a month on like the third Sunday of the month in San Francisco, Japantown. So they're separate. They're far enough out that it sort of, I guess, justifies it. You know, it's rather, and there's a mix of players. So many of the stronger players from around the area, from around Northern California, will go to San Francisco. I live in the South Bay, but every Sunday I drive that hour or so to the East Bay because I've been doing that for 3.5 years, and I love playing, you know, in that club. The Silicon Valley Shogi Club, which is the South Bay Club, which is like 5 minutes from me. I used to go to that club. I almost never go to it now. Because I'm a weenie. Because I'm a weenie. I don't like the pieces that they use, and mostly because I don't like the pieces that they use, and so it's not as fun for me. Also, Tuesday nights, even as just a full-time shogi streamer, I'm drained. Yeah, I don't like the pieces that they use, the shogi pieces. Aji-io, you're from the Midwest. I always assumed you were in Japan. Hello. Nice to see you. I always assumed you were in Japan. Most of my YouTube viewers are in Japan. So, you know, that's part of the assumption there. And just because I have, like, if I don't recognize a name from online events or the Shogi Harbour Discord or you know, 81 Dojo or whatever, I think my brain just immediately assumes that the person is from Japan. He's got 4 pawns, so we can't just draw. I think we can't. You know, my thinking, sort of, my first inclination was maybe we build up a battery of a lance backed or a rook fronted by a lance. But if we drop that lance first, He's got pawns. You know, Tataki's them up. Yeah, this game does look tough. In these kinds of endgame situation, these are the kinds of games I feel like I was actually thinking this and not saying it. You know, I've been negligent in my streamer duties. I should be saying what I'm thinking. But this seems to me to be like one of those games that really sets the strong players apart from the lower level players, or like, you know, players of my level. Like these are the kinds of positions when it's not easy to see a move, or when it's not, you know, I can win games against strong players. But overall, I am, you know, that will not happen often, because most of the time there are going to be positions that are just sort of uncomfortable or unclear. And that's where the really strong players come up with more creative ideas and just deeper ideas than I can come up with. That said, in the end, I think I probably would have played a move like this, because you're hitting this, and this is obviously a weak point. The problem is that a lot of the things you want to do against this gold, I guess, you can't do, because the silver's defending this square, the gold is defending this square. Yeah. And so now, like, it's I feel at this point like Sente, the bad guys. You know, we're cheering for Gote, who is on the bottom. But I feel like this may be easier to play, because now you get this, you're pulling this guy, you're pulling this guy in, you're going to attack these golds, start taking stuff, threatening the king. To me, it almost feels like, despite this material advantage that I Dream of Shogi has, the plans to use that seem more difficult. So, like, maybe I like that move a lot. I think he should have taken that pawn first. But maybe not. Maybe there would have been a pawn. Boy, I don't know. But like, at some, like, what about this? What are we doing here? Wait, if we take. Oh, interesting. So now we are in the land of being able to try to force the king over here, or force the silver over here, thereby weakening things. Yeah. This is a promoted knight right here. So you get a gold. You're a little safe. You're definitely, I think you're safe. And giving that knight doesn't necessarily, I think, give the win. Sure doesn't hurt. Good move. Good move. Wow. So is there a way to threaten something that makes this sacrifice good? Because it comes with check. Boy, this horse over here is so sad. This horse over here is just so sad. You're pretty new to Shogi. That's why I haven't seen you on the platforms yet. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I am born and raised in the Midwest. I don't know if I don't know if I've mentioned that. Yeah, born and raised in Cleveland, went to university in Chicago, lived there for a long time, then moved out here.
10秒
So this limits, yeah, that's kind of nice. It limits the visibility of this dragon, so the dragon can't start making threats on this file or this rank. That seems good. Ooh, yeah. Huh. Gonna try to tease apart that castle. He has a silver. Oh, look at that! What's good for the goose? This gold tower. What's good for the goose is good for the gander here. That's cool. I think it would have been nice to have this lance here, but you could just take, and if you wanted to take it all the way up. I think I would have also considered dropping a silver back on 1-2. Maybe that's too weak, but you're trying to get.
10秒
Essentially, he takes. We drop we take with the silver, and we've got a mini silver crown. Would have been my sort of plan there, but this lance is really cool.
5 6 7 8
Yeah, so he's going to have a silver and a gold in hand and a knight and 4 pawns when all is said and done. Oh, or not. Whoa! Look at that! Look at that! Woo! I like it. I like it.
これより秒読みに入ります。
I like it. I don't know if it's good, but I like it.
10秒
This gold is not only protecting. Well, he's no longer doing much protecting, but he's also
10
attacking.
秒
He's also a target now. Now he's also a target.
10秒 20秒 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9
Woo!
10秒
Look at this game. Look at this position.
20秒 1
Yeah. Yeah,
10
Dream Shogi
秒
doesn't have a gold. So a lot of this stuff is not as big a threat. I mean, it's a threat that it's not a threat that can't be dodged, I guess I should say. Yeah, got to avoid it. Got to avoid it. He's got a lot. This could this very sad horse eventually find that it has a friend in the king up here? Could the king go and be this very sad horse's friend?
10秒 20秒 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、
Does he have to run?
9、
No, because then the night drop. Nice. Or not nice. Not nice.
10秒
Yeah, it's the same night drop, even with that in play. Yeah, I didn't want to move here because of the night drop.
1、2、3、
You can't lose this dragon, otherwise it all heck breaks loose.
10秒
Bring another knight up.
20秒 1、
Yeah. So how do we defend it?
10秒
Yeah, we do. It is defending.
10秒 10秒
Do we drop another gold? Do we drop the knight? Okay. So we're giving up some of that attack for our defense, and then hopes that once we solidify, I guess we'll be able to make our attack at some point. Solidify our defense, and then attack.
20秒 1、2、3、4、5
I was just going to say, this seems like one of these positions where now you just take the lance. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything. We are now in the sort of accumulation stage. Or we don't want to lose.
20秒 1、2
So maybe we start taking some material. But what's he going to do with that knight? What's the plan with that knight? Just easing up
10
tension?
秒 20秒 1、
Is there any way? So how do we get this
5、
bishop drop?
6、
'Cause I think this would be nice. Wow. He's going for it.
10秒
Yeah, so he's gonna have to take the gold, move the gold up, because silverback obviously is just gonna be mate. So becomes if the rook tries to do some shenanigans here, we just drop the pawn.
20秒 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9
Woohoo! Huh. Interesting. Tricky. Where you get retempoed. Can you do this? Take.
3、4、
Take. Yeah, so or yeah, you got to do that threat first, I guess. You've got to do that threat first. You renew your threat. And now what?
10秒
Oh.
10秒
Can the king run forward?
20秒 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、10秒 20秒 1、2、
Huh.
10秒
Wow. I don't know if that works, but boy, that is pretty.
20秒 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、 10秒
Can you do this? No, because the rook is going to be. You're gonna tempo that. Yeah. Wow.
10秒 20秒 1、2、3、4、5、
Boy,
7、
this is like he has given him so many things to think about. So now is it just bishop drop? Bishop drop?
10秒
It's bishop drop mate. Maybe not mate, but it's really good.
4、5、6、7、
Ah, that's
10秒
pretty. That's pretty. Now you come up here. He comes over here. We promote. He takes the knight.
10秒
And then how do we get our mate? How do we get our mate? So once we have the horse here,
20秒
he takes this.
2、3、4、5、6、7、8、
Or we take. Oh, I thought we might take here with the rook. Oh, yeah, they're very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, Lolly B, you saw it. Very good. Woo. So this is the key. And I think this when I am playing well, or when I'm winning games against, like when I'm playing well, I think this is one of the things that I've started noticing that I'm doing. And I think it's what players, of this level do, is that they start adding wrinkles to the game. They start adding threats, or it's I think in fighting game terms they say increasing the mental stack. You keep increasing the number of things that the opponent has to think about, and then eventually they, air quotes, collapse, or they miss, they miss something. And, people watching will be like, oh, well, how do they miss that? How do they miss that? Well, there's 7 other things that are going through their mind at that moment. There's only so much time, and there are only so many things that you can balance in your head. Yeah, that was an incredible game. Incredible game. You thought pawn drop 2-7 instead of the gold. Not sure about the difference. So pawn drop 2-7 instead of the gold. Oh, it's I already closed it. Pawn drop 2-7 instead of the gold. I wonder, there was the bishop drop, you the silver took. You think if pawn drop, it's more complicated because they don't have to take. Oh, that moment. Yeah. Oh, that was beautiful. That gold drop was beautiful. They have to take. And then of course, assuming you see that you see that bishop drop. Yeah, really nice one. Really nice mate. I'm gonna try here. This practice game with Yloigh. Yloigh. Let's do it. I'm inspired. I'm inspired by I Dream of Shogi. Okay, pawn drop is mate in 13, gold drop is mate in 7. Nice. Okay, so it looks like my request. The opponent did not respond within time limit. Wah, wah. Let's close this. Come up here, and oh, and I'm showing up. I'm showing up in the Lee Shogi thing here. Anonymous 2010, Anonymous 1530. We'll do this. We'll do this on Lee Shogi. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Nobody wants to play with me today. Nobody. Inspiration lowering. Yeah, Mr. Anonymous is very strong. In my experience, he's really good. Really good. Okay, I'll do a rematch. Let's do a rematch. I'm going to offer a rematch. All right. I click the rematch. Rematch offer sent. So that's the supported. I don't get the win. I don't get the casual win. I'm going to track it, though. I'm tracking it.
Win. Current streak is 2 wins.
We don't do anything but win on this channel. Okay. This is... We watched Star Trek Wrath of Khan last night, and as Khan might say, let them eat static. That's what Mr. Anonymous is saying to me right now. Let me eat static. Going back to 81, the dojo of 81. Maybe I should just be done for the day. Maybe that's the key. Just, you know, it was a good stream, good games to watch, good mate battles. Just end on a high note. Just end on just like Michael Jordan. Just like Michael Jordan, but not LeBron James. Excuse me. Speaking of goats, when does the Ito Fuji match start? The OE title. When is that starting up? Darn it, I dream of Shogi. You always have an answer. You always have something. You always in your anti-MJ propaganda. You've always got some bullet in your revolver, in the barrel, or in the barrel? No, in the clip. I don't know. Whatever you do, you always got something. uh Boy. You're in New York. Are you enjoying the current festivities of the Knicks? I had dinner with someone on Monday night who is living in New York, and he was talking about how nice it is. Like, people are enthusiastic and sort of friendly now, and just like a common bonding, and people will just gather all of a sudden. Like, people will be gathering around a TV in the window, and sounds pretty nice. And I mean, they're all friendly and nice, of course, until the series ends, in which case they're going to loot and burn the city. But other than that, you're not anti-MJ, by the way. Oh, I don't know. We have documented evidence. If you think LeBron is even in the same category, that is anti-MJ as far as I'm concerned. So of course LeBron has the longevity. It's not difficult to be longevity in this day of drugs and performance enhancers. I mean, look at me. Look at me tearing up the online shogi ranks. I'm older than LeBron James, and I'm tearing up these shogi ranks. With the help of all these multivitamins and stuff that I'm taking, vitamin K, DHA, potassium, magnesium, all this stuff. And look at me. And so, he could take that and all the illegal stuff. Jokes aside, I actually don't think the longevity thing is a fair comparison anymore because of those reasons. I think it's too easy now to get too much longevity extending care. Magic Based, you say that people have been going crazy here in San Antonio. It's fun. When people, modern, like, a lot of people don't realize how fun that stuff is. How fun bonding around sports is. It's not necessarily that people are jocks. It's not necessarily that people love sports. It's that when there's a town or a group united in some common kind of anything, some common little social bond, it makes everything nicer. It really does. Like, these cultural events that occur that bond people together. And so, like, that's understandable. I mean, it used to be that way a lot, like, especially like where I was growing up. And boy, when the Browns would be doing well, the entire city would be into it. When Cleveland State University won a few games in the NCAA basketball tournament, the entire town was captured by Cleveland State basketball. And it's fun. I think in recent decades, it has been tainted by the fact that the winners or losers of the final game, the people seem to destroy their city, which is, it is what it is. But other than that, it's really cool to be in on something. July 4th to 5th will be the first Ito game. Also, Ito N green tea. The OE Ito N green tea. Wait, the OE title is brought to you by Ito N green tea, much like myself, but they're not giving me anything. So You might say that this stream is brought to you by Ito and Green Tea. They're not paying me, and I'm buying my own green tea, and they've never contacted me in any way. But you might say that. If that makes the stream feel more official, I guess we can say that. Adrian Shogi, you say your wife and you met in San Antonio. We got married there. Oh, wow. Admitting in public. Boy, this New York shogi scene, they are not very loyal. You've got Adrian Shogi who's loyal to San Antonio. You've got Snowpiercer R who's loyal to Canada. Boy, you guys. You don't understand the urge that many fans have to destroy things after games win or lose. It's just not something I'll ever understand. You know, I can try to come up with ideas of why it is, but like the actual act of doing it, I mean, they're very up there. Yeah. So Magic Base, you have inexplicably seen all the games so far. Funny enough, you were playing Shogi at meetups while a bunch of other people were watching the game. On Monday night, I was in a restaurant, like a bar restaurant, one of those big bar restaurant type places. And I was with this person who's been living in New York for the past few years, former coworker and friend. And the game was on a bunch of the TVs, and people just getting into it. Like even out in Northern California, there were people getting into it. Maybe they're New Yorkers. Maybe I don't know why these people were so into it, but some people were really into it. And it's fun. It is fun. Like it's fun to have these stupid things in life that don't matter, but allow you to kind of cheer for something. It's just fun. I think. What do I know? However, I care not who wins basketball. I care about amateur shogi, and that is about it these days. I care about who's going to win WSL. I care about which of KKR 5150, or not 5150, KKR 5015. What is that username? 5015. I care about, if he's going to win his games. I care if Urashino Sensei is going to win his games. But, yeah. Anyway. We have this. No one wanted to play me. What else is going on Lee Shogi? Are there any... There's a 1+8. Oh, I don't enjoy playing Fisher on Lee Shogi because of the audio cues. But I will be trying 5+5 Fisher on Kyo once that releases. Today, one of the things I need to do is try to see if I can somehow get my phone, like get a layout built for my phone to make it easier to stream Kyo. I'm gonna try. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but we'll see. Yeah. Because there's no telling if they are going to allow. My understanding is that when you make an iOS application or an iPad or iPhone, I think as a developer you have to explicitly allow it to be run on macOS, even if it can't, even if with no effort of your own, it will be runnable on macOS. I think you still have to explicitly allow it in the App Store. That's I have been told that. I have not validated that. So if they do that, I'll be able to play. It's still not clear that we'll even be able to download it though. Like it's possible in the United States App Store we will not be able to download Kyo, without setting our locales to Japan and whatnot, which I am not going to do. So we'll see. Tomorrow tomorrow is the 11th here. It will be the 12th in Japan. So we'll see when that actually goes live. And I'll try it. I'll try it. I definitely would like to play Fisher 5+5. It's a great time control. So it looked to me from that video, there was the video of that VTuber I was saying the other day that the VTuber has it looks like sort of it looks like a male VTuber with blue and red hair with like a girl's voice. So if that rings a bell, it was that one. Had a really nice video showing off Kyo, and the time controls, if I'm from memory here, were 10:30, 10 minutes with 30-second Byoyomi, 5+5 Fisher, and 3-minute Kiramake, just like Shogi Wars. And then there were two options for the 10 minutes with 30-second Byoyomi. It's all in Japanese, so I couldn't tell. My guess was one was like casual or versus bots, and the other one might have been rated. Oh, that is the creator of Suisho? Oh, interesting, because Magic Based was saying the other day that that VTuber was doing a lot with engines. Wow. Okay. Interesting. That might be. You might be right. Wow. That's a big gun. Suisho is awesome. I mean, even to this day, you know, how old is Suisho 5 at this point? And it still seems to be very much like a standard that people use. I think because it's so easy. It's all like the neural net and everything is just built into the binary. It's the easiest one to use. You know, otherwise like Yanara O is a shocking pain in the butt to get working. Tayayan. Okay, so let's Tayayan. Let's go over here. VTuber Shogi. It's a well-known Japanese Shogi-themed VTuber and the creator of Suisho, one of the strongest computer Shogi AIs. Yeah, nice. In his professional life, he is actually a practicing lawyer, but he streams Shogi gameplay, analysis, and AI experiments using a VTuber avatar on his channel. Very cool. Let me copy that. Now I will share this. I will share this for people in the chat. He's got that thumbnail game going on. Like, Japanese is such a great language for thumbnails because you can express so much in so small a space. What are some of these? Interesting. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so let's see. He's streaming. Is it every day? Yeah, it looks like almost every day. Or often enough. And making these custom avatars for each of them, or these custom thumbnails. So like someone like this, I wonder how much time he spends on his thumbnails. Like, does he have a format that he can just kind of use? Or does he spend a lot of time on them? I wonder. Correct me. Don't you need Yanara O for using Suisho? Yeah, I think Suisho is my understanding. Maybe Adriano Shogi can correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe someone else can. My understanding is that effectively Suisho 5 is Yanara O, just with the neural net file built in. So with Yanara O, when you download Yanara O and you compile it or you build it or whatever, you don't have to, but like, you know, if you want it to reach its potential, you have to install or copy in a neural net file. And it's a black art as far as whenever I've looked. It's a dark art to try to even find these neural net files and to even understand what each of these neural net files are, especially as a non-Japanese speaker. So I think one of the innovations there of Suisho 5 is that he built he built a neural net, but then it's compiled into the binary. So on Windows or Linux or Mac OS, I think you just have to download one file, one executable, and that is the Suisho 5 executable. And so I think for that reason, it seems like it has been very popular to the point where I don't know if it's him, but I think other people, like Yloigh people, have in the past advised, saying like, please don't use Suisho 5 anymore. It's so old. It's so old, and you know the newer stuff is better. But as far as I know, no one is releasing like single executable files. So I have downloaded a neural net, and on my system, and I play with those. And so I do have Suisho 5, but for my day-to-day stuff, I use something else, which in my testing seems to be stronger than Suisho 5. I think I've mentioned this before, that when I run engine battles, like between newer Suisho 5 or different NNUEs, or I mean newer Yloigh with different NNUE versus Suisho 5 and stuff like that, Sente always wins. Sente always wins. Shogi's a win for Sente. But I'm saying that somewhat tongue in cheek. If this is not like the word of God here, I'm saying that somewhat tongue in cheek. It appears that Shogi is very much a win for Sente. But anyway, so when I run engines against themselves, Sente always wins. But and whether this matters or not, who knows? Like in the Go world, this wouldn't necessarily matter. But the better engine, the newer NNUE and the newer Yloigh builds, they seem to reach a winning position faster. Of the games that they are Sente and win, which are all of them, they seem to get to the winning position faster than Suisho 5 gets to a winning position. They all win as Sente in my testing. And that seems to be bearing itself out in the Computer Shogi Championships. The recent Computer Shogi Championships, it was like 90. I think it was like 9. If I understood the translated stuff, like 90+% win rate for Sente. And I don't know if the other 7% was like Senichite or something like that, or the other 5% was Senichite. I don't know. I don't know if Gote won any of those games, but I don't follow that too closely. But anyway, Suisho 5 is still great, and yeah, I think it is mechanically Yloigh. You think it's the best free one? The better ones are all paid. The better ones are all paid. Well, the newer Yloighs are also free. But yeah, like DL Shogi, I think, is paid. And I think DL Shogi is in some way funded by Heroes, the company behind Shogi Wars, I think. I don't know if that's the Kishin engine or what. Oh, you do think Gote won 2 or 3 games? Okay, interesting. Lalibi, you say that maybe we adjust the rules in favor of Gote. Well, that seems to me to be easier said than done, right? Like we've definitely had this conversation on stream a couple times. And I don't want to be like a doomer about it, but it does seem to me that it is an existential threat to competitive shogi. Not necessarily club shogi, of course, but like, what is the percentage win rate for Sente at the pro level that will spoil the game, that will spoil the competitive integrity of the game? Last year, I think last year, this is old. I'm old. I'm forgetting exactly what I read, but I think last year between 56 and 58% of the pro games were won by Sente. I would argue that that's already competitively imbalanced. But like, what if that becomes, as engines get stronger and as people get stronger via engines, what if that hits 60%? What if that hits 65%? Like 65% is effectively 2 out of 3 games. That is not a fair advantage. That's not a fair game. So what do? Do you lower the time controls? Like I think chess has been going in this direction. But chess has the benefit of being a draw. So it's being a draw. I think in that way, I think draws. I've always thought that draws are a feature, but like in that way, being a draw is not so bad. I think a game being a draw with best play is much better than a game being a win for one side in best play. So it's very interesting. Maybe you just speed up the clock and play more games. But that would ruin 100+ years of culture, of shogi culture. Shogi right now still has 2-day games. For some titles still has 2-day single games. Which I've always said is to me it's kind of weird, but I am what I am. Danny Boy to First on, hello, and well done again on that video. Let me shill your channel. I'll give a link to that channel there. This channel has he has just uploaded his first shogi video. It's going over problem 1 of Endgame Techniques 200 by Takashi Kaneko, and I expect more will be coming. The same problem exists for chess. They deal with it by giving players a fair number of white versus black. Well, I think they deal with it. I mean, I don't think that is all that important. It's important, of course. So in events, you have the same, like in Swiss events, you have the same number of black and white pieces, like that. So that's how you make that fair. But at the same time, though, the game is a draw. So it's not like black is a lost position. Black is a draw. So you put two grandmasters playing each other. One grandmaster is not going to win. White is not going to win 60% of the time. White is not even going to win 50% of the time. It's a comparatively tiny win rate for white, compared to shogi. Oh, Lollybee, no. I don't want to discount any ideas, but boy, I don't think predefined positions are the maybe I'm just hoping too much. I don't think predefined positions are the future, and I certainly hope they're not. I would not play. I would not play shogi if we had to play predefined positions. Unless that position is Urshin or Ryu unless it's Torizashi and I get to play shogi. And I always get to play Torizashi. Yeah, shogi. So that's the thing. I think for the same reasons that Chess 960 won't win in chess, I think the same criticisms of Chess 960 would apply to shogi. Is that you take out you take out a huge reason why people play these games, which is improvement and continuous improvement and learning. And if every position is new, you're effectively not playing the same game each time. And so in many ways, you can't learn from what you did. It's kind of like why, as far as I'm concerned, like why not just play mate battle, like, you know, kind of thing. If we're gonna play Shogi 960, why not just play mate battle? It works in video games. Well, I love rogue. I mean, I don't know if you know this about me because I've talked about it a lot. I love rogue. That genre, roguelike genre, is one of my favorite, if not currently my favorite genre. But I don't think that applies for Shogi. Like I go to video games and I go to roguelikes for completely different reasons than I go to a game like Shogi. Like one of the things I love about Shogi and chess and backgammon and Go is that they have decades to centuries to millennia of history behind them. And they've been the same game for all this time. And if you look at a game from 100 years ago, it's the same game that you can learn from now. I think that's something culturally beautiful about these games. And so if that switches to Chess 960 or Shogi 960, I think that's all lost. And then people like me who enjoy studying about openings, who enjoy talking about openings, they're left out in the cold. And I think it also limits your ability to be creative. So like one of the cool things about Shogi and chess is that, at least at the moment, you identify with your playing style to a certain extent. Like, I'm an Urashino Ryu player, I'm a Torizashi player, or you're a Shikenbisha player, or you're a KKS player, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna be playing Jofa Beats tomorrow. He's a third file player, so let me prepare some of these ideas. And like, I think that is something that's really beautiful about the game and chess. But I think that's something really beautiful about Shogi, that if it just became a battle of finding 100 next move problems, like, I think if you play Shogi 960, you're just playing a game that is composed of 50 next move problems. And if you get your next move problems right against your opponent, then you win. If they get if you get some next move problems wrong, they win. Versus the real game where you are making a strategy. You're a strategy that you've been working on maybe for a decade. You have experience. You can build on experience. And even if people like me cannot become the Meijin, even if I can't compete for the OE title, I can become the best Urashino Ryu player I can be, or I can feel like I'm learning more about something. I don't know if I'm doing a great job of expressing my feelings on this, but that is for me why 960, Shogi or chess, is in the end not compelling. In the end, it's unfulfilling. Burn Best Girl, hello, welcome to the channel. You say, apparently even with draws being possible, White still has a greater than 55% win rate in chess over Black, including for engines. I don't think that's true. That's not true. I don't think that's true at all. I think more than 50% of the games for grandmasters are draws. But someone who knows chess better could chime in what are my thoughts on adjusting Senichite and New Gyoku in favor of Gote? So that's interesting. I think that seems to be, so taking well, I guess both of those. I don't know enough to say. I think someone needs to do computer analysis to see what changes. Like, I think maybe those are options. But like, there was I think it was before Grandmaster Vladimir Kramnik sort of went off the deep end on his crusade, against chess players. He was doing some sort of computer research, I think with AlphaZero, where he was testing a bunch of variants effectively, but minor to major rule changes in chess to see if it solved this problem, or if it dramatically increased desirable results, which I guess in the end is fewer draws. So like, I think one of the rules, for example, was no castling. One of the rules, I think, was being able to move a pawn backwards, things like that. And I seem to, and there's an entire study on that with results. But I think in the end, none of those really meaningfully changed the draw rate, I think. And now I could definitely be way off base. But I don't, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so like, but I think it'd be worth testing. Like, I don't know. Let's say Gote, let's say we made a rule that if Gote enters his king into the try rule. So like the try rule, for anyone who's unfamiliar with the try rule, the idea is that the first person to get their king to the opposite king's starting square wins. With some little exceptions, but you get your king to, if I'm Sente and I get my king to 5-1, I win. So it's to me, it's a much better system than the current sort of counting craziness that is entering king. The only site that I am aware of that implements try rule these days is Shogi Quest. So if you want to try for the try rule, play on Shogi Quest and give that a shot. I think I've done it once or twice on stream, and I think that's a really nifty rule. But regardless, if we said if we say that Gote reaching 5-9 is a win, let's say, but Sente reaching 5-1 is not a win. If we make that rule, I think it would be fascinating to see, by playing engines, the best engines against themselves billions of times, does that make a meaningful change to the game? Does that make a meaningful change to the game? I don't know, because in the end, so I think what I always come back to is that in the end, I think we need a situation where we need draws. And it seems to me like if you play perfectly, you should not lose. Like, if that's the idea, I think that's one of the ideas, is that if you play perfectly, you should not lose. So any change we make might actually be working towards a system where it's a draw with best play, or let's say this rule, let's say this try rule for Gote is played out, and we see that engines are basically 50-50 in terms of win rate. You know, I think that would be a monumental triumph, at least at our current level of computing power. Like, if current engines get to a point where a rule change makes it so that it's 50-50 among engines, I mean, even if it gets to the point where it's only 60-40 for one of the sides, I think that would be a monumental triumph, because humans will never get that good. Humans will never get as good as engines are now. How many games of impasse do you think I've had? Probably no more than 10 to 20. Probably no more than 10 to 20. I've had Siniche Day probably no more than 10 times. Melomorphox, hello. I see the discussion about the win rate for chess. Yeah. Gote allowed Uchifu would be interesting. Yeah. Wouldn't that be interesting? I mean, to me, all ideas are on the table. To me, all ideas are on the table. And if they play it out with engines and see that this is a big change, I think that sounds amazing. I think that sounds amazing. You ask, but that already exists with impasse. It seems to me, if you do try rule, that probably means if any change happens, it favors Gote. Yeah. So but does it favor Gote in a way that Gote is going to win 100% of their games? Melomorphox, yeah. So that's why I'm saying, if the game is a win for one player, then any boosts will just flip the advantage. But what if it's complicated enough that at our current engine level, which is superhuman, what if our current state of engines has it only as 60-40? To me, that buys us hundreds of years of humanity playing the game. That's all. That's the point I'm getting at. You know, in the end, the idea is not to make the game perfectly competitive 50-50. It's to make the game effectively perfectly competitive for humans into the future. I think that's the way I come at it. And it seems to me now, at the pro level, we're already in a state where the game is no longer competitively valid, or it's not competitively fair, because Furigoma means so much. Like, Furigoma is a bigger advantage than any move you can do on the board. Lalibi, you say, regarding the perfect play argument, we could consider that sitting at the shogi board is the first mistake Gote makes. Yeah, it is. It is. No, it's not sitting at the board. It's losing Furigoma. And so now we're playing backgammon. I don't think it's 53-47 anymore. I think that's old. I think that's what I was trying to get at, is that the past 2 years, someone released this information for the pro game, and my understanding is that 2024 and 2025 were like 56 to 58% win rate for Sente for the JSA pros. And I have to believe that is only getting that advantage is only going to grow, as engines as we get rid of these old people who are playing now, as we get rid of the old people and we replace them with these new engine grown players, I think that advantage is only going to grow. Yeah, replacing Furigoma with a task like Tsume Puzzle or Shogi Trivia Quiz or boxing. Boxing. Hex is a game which is provably a win for one player from any position. They use the pie rule, where player 1 makes their first move, and then player 2 decides whether or not they want to switch sides. Yeah. I think, doesn't Renju, we were talking about Renju yesterday or the day before. I think something like that exists in Renju. I don't like that. Myself, I just... Maybe that would, maybe I'm too biased against that. Maybe that would be fine. I don't like that myself because I want to play what I want to play, kind of thing. I don't know. I think if that rule went in place, I think I would stop playing Shogi. I think I would just stop playing Shogi. I would look for a different game. I don't know why I'm so anti-pie rule for Shogi. Well, I mean, I've already given my reason, but I feel very strongly about that reason. Strong opinions loosely held, I guess. Yeah, so in Renju, player 1 has restrictions that player 2 isn't subjected to. Okay, so it's not the pie. They don't use pie rule, but they would use something similar to that Uchifu rule, where Gote would be allowed to do Uchifu, Fuzime, or whatever it is. If you remove Fuji from the analysis, it's like 53 to 47. He single-handedly skews the results because he wins 90% of Sente. So I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair because I think the JSA has a bunch of pros that probably no longer belong there, and they're probably skewing the results in the other way. So that's why I'm saying that once all the boomers and all the old people, and I say, I'm saying old people like people of my age and slightly younger than me, once they're all gone out of the JSA player base, I think we're going to see that number skyrocket. Maybe not 90% like Fuji, which is ridiculous. Which is both ridiculous and alarming, I would say. But I think it's going to be more of the norm. Like these kids coming up these days, I think they're going to be closer to Fuji than they're going to be closer to the old guys leaving. But I'm so ignorant that could be wrong. But that is my, just based on how chess is, I'm thinking that's going to be the case. The pie rule in Gomoku is the most interesting form you've seen, as it's designed to not allow players to study pet positions for advantage. Yeah, but that's the thing is, I like pet positions. I think pet positions are enriching for the game. I think pet players enrich the game. Pet positions enrich the game. They don't diminish it. Like, if everyone is just playing the same stuff, I think that is not a compelling... I think that's a very uncompelling hobby or sport to take part in or to spectate. If everyone is effectively doing the same thing, to me, you lose all sorts of storylines. You lose those storylines. Like the storylines that I have every week with my opponent at the club, or the storylines that exist when I'm watching Kochiro versus Takashima-san in one of the Shogi Brazil tournaments. Like, I think to me, that's the kind of stuff that makes Shogi great. Like the Fukuma Nakabisha versus Nishiyama third file Rook, which has evolved over time based on win rates and as the game, as their understandings of each other have evolved, their openings have changed have changed as well. And to me, that is the most fascinating thing about the Fukuma Nishiyama situation, is how Fukuma has adapted how she has changed as she started losing and now is starting to win again. Like, to me, as a spectator, whether or not what I'm saying is actually true, to me, that's what makes it interesting. And it's like, oh man, Fukuma is going to be Gote today. What is she going to do against what is she going to, what is she worked up for this game against Nishiyama? That's the interesting sort of compelling stuff for me. You think even Ito is not close to that? Well, he's not close to that yet. He may get there. He seems to be on the rise. I could be, maybe it's just a fluke, but it seems like he's on the rise as well. As of now, every pro is using the engine, which wasn't true just recently. So if you think my prodigy of a future Sota Fuji-like players is highly likely. Wait, so you think it's not likely? I'm not sure if you think it's likely or not likely. But the thing is, I don't know if the older guys are effectively, well, one, the old guys that exist in the JSA, I don't know how effectively they're using engines. And two, I don't know how effectively they can learn at their age. So that's a thing. I think maybe in Shogi, the Shogi professional system, once you're a professional, is not really merit-based. And not to make like hot takey sounding things. It's not a merit-based system once you're in. Once you're in, you're in. So I think using older people who are not at the prime for these percentages, I think is doing the argument a little bit of a disservice. I think as the kids come up, the kids who are born on these engines come up, I think they will be better as they age. But age has limiting factors and motivation, not just brain power, but like motivation and all that stuff. So I think I suspect at the JSA level, we'll never truly show the advantage of Sente for the top level pros unless we just manually take out sort of the people who have clearly diminished in their abilities. But either way, I think it feels to me like it's going to be almost undeniable that the best that Sente is going to win 60% of the time. I think that seems to me to be almost undeniable that is going to happen. And maybe happen, like if we filter out the lower pros, all the 6, 7, and 8 Dan players who are not near their peaks, who are not competitive. If we filter them out, I wonder what that win rate is. Yeah, I am making that assumption. I am making the assumption that the worst players don't win as much with Sente. I am making, I think, yeah, it is a big assumption in what I'm saying. But I am assuming that I'm making the assumption that they're. I'm making the assumption that if they have the advantage, instead, like if they win over 50% of their games as Sente, it will not be as high as people at the peak of their game. So we'll see. So we'll see. You know, and I think that's why, you know, that's why I'm saying is, you know, once we have more data over time with younger engine-born players, we'll see that. But Melomorphox, this is what we were saying. The win rate for the Sente for the top engines is close to is getting to be close to 100%. I think that some article, which I could have mistranslated, but nobody has corrected. You know, we've talked about this on stream a few times, and nobody has corrected me. The computer shogi stuff, it was in the 90s. It was in the 90s. It's possible their splits are like 40-30. It's totally possible. It's totally possible. You know, we just don't. We you know, I don't know. But I feel it's. I feel, you know, in this discussion, we're more talking about the future. We're talking about the future state of the game. You know, the evolved future state of the game. And I don't think it's correct to use sort of the older generation in that discussion so much. But, you know, I'm totally willing to include them. But regardless, you know, Fuji winning 90% or the computer stuff is really what scares me. It not scares, but I think the computer stuff is really, I have to believe that just like with chess, the level of play is going to, the level of play for professional shogi players is only going to go up. I think that if engines are close to 100% win rate for shogi, I think as time goes on, the human level is only going to tend towards that number. It's not going to regress. It's not going to regress to a number that's more competitively fair. I think the numbers over time can only increase to the point where shogi is competitively unfair. Melamar say, however, it's quite possible humans will not get close to current engine levels. Oh, I mean, it's likely humans will. I mean, I don't want to be a human doomer, but I think it's probably safe to say that humans will never get to the current to where the current engines are. I think it's completely. I wouldn't bet my life on it, but like it seems completely reasonable to assume that humanity will never, unaugmented humanity will never reach the level of current engines. But they will get close. I think human level is going to continue to increase, is all I'm saying. If the assumption were correct, we should be seeing a lot more new four Dans having long win streaks like Fuji, but that hasn't happened. Oh, so you're saying long win streaks against like the older players? That's an interesting counter. That's an interesting counter. I think I was using, so my understanding based on what I've heard other people say is that these young pros that are coming up, you know, these young four Dans are much stronger than the other players. That's just what I'm reading in English, you know, English language shogi discourse. So if you're saying that's not the case, then that is something. That is definitely something. But regardless, I mean, for someone to believe For someone to believe that the win rate is not going to get to 60% for humans, for human JSA level players, you know, the top players, So, you know, it's still, I think this should be the top players, but regardless, I think you have to believe that humans aren't going to improve at Shogi, which seems to me to be a bad bet. Yeah, it seems to me to be a bad bet, but you know, we'll see. We'll see over time. The problem, I think one of the problems is, though, if nothing is done, like, I don't think you want to get to that state. Maybe you head that state off at the pass. And who's to say that they're not? Like the JSA right now, as we speak, the JSA may be running massive simulations for like of the exact same things we're talking about, like Gote without Uchifu or Gote with the try rule. Like they may be running massive, they or other interested parties like Shogi, like heroes, like engine providers, they may be running these simulations now to try to get out ahead of the problem. Well, I don't think using Fuji, I don't think Fuji plays into, I don't think Fuji plays into this necessarily. He's just a current outlier. Well, Adrian Shogi, no. So you can't say 0%. You can't say 0% chance that they're running simulations. They don't even have a website right now. That's why they don't have a website, because they're putting all their resources towards running simulations. How about that? They'd rather run simulations than a website. So yeah, we'll see. It's a fun discussion. It's fun. You know, regardless. You know, it's fun to talk about. It's fun to have something to talk about. You know, whether or not it becomes a competitive problem for Shogi, or to the point where people don't watch the game because Sente is winning too often. You know, who knows? You know, it won't be a problem for us. Well, it won't be a problem. I'll just say, I won't say us. I won't lump anyone else with me. It won't be a problem for me, Sente or Gote. You know, that kind of discussion. Sente Gote will just be something I have to deal with. Because, you know, even at my level, Sente and Gote is a difference. I struggle, you know, I definitely struggle more with Gote in the openings I play. You know, my Shogi Wars numbers, let me make sure I'm not lying. Maybe, and these are small sample size, relatively small sample size. But like, if we look at my Shogi Wars numbers, winning 30, you know, 0.3 more. Well, you know, percentage. I won't do the percentage because I can't do the percentage in my head. But you know, I'm winning more as Sente than I'm losing for 10 minutes. 3 minutes, I don't know if that matters. 3 minutes, 3 minutes, I'm winning more as Gote. So I'm proving my argument wrong there. And 10 seconds. So, you know, in the meaningful time controls, it's not like the biggest difference, but I certainly win more when I'm playing Sente than I win when I'm playing Gote. You know, my win rate is much higher for Sente than it is Gote. it used to be much higher, but so it used to be much higher, but I probably have another 50 game recently. I probably have like 50 games where I'm playing stronger players. So it's like, I think my win rate has, well, that would apply to both. That would apply to both. So, but anyway, that's just something. But for the most part, it doesn't affect my love of the game. Like if I have a slight advantage as Sente, so what? If my opponent has a slight advantage as Sente, so what? But I think I think so. For my playing and enjoyment of the game as a player, I think it's fine. But my enjoyment as a spectator of professional games would absolutely be impacted if I know. Actually, like Satomi Nishiyama, I stopped watching. I don't care. It's like, oh, who was Sente? This, like, someone will say who won the Nishiyama Fukuma game. I don't know who was Sente. Fukuma was, okay. She won. Look it up. Fukuma won. That kind of thing. It's I think it's at the point where competitively for me it's just not as interesting because of that. But that's a small factor. That's a small factor. It's more that we don't have English language commentary. So, it's interesting, it's fun. The game will be fun for me to play regardless. I am, as I get older and as I am not tending more towards the engines. So, for my trajectory, I am not tending more towards the engines. I'm tending more towards maybe getting better at the game, but not in a way that is going to make that big of a difference for Sente Gote, I think. I wonder if 81 Dojo... Now, my I don't have a big enough sample size on 81 Dojo, and I don't have enough... My 81 Dojo sample size is small, and it's too spread out among my... Like, it's not fair to compare 2 years ago me to current me. So, yeah. So I can't use that. I see KKR is playing. He dropped off the conversation. He's like, enough. I'm just going to win this game. He's Gote, so let's see if he can pull it out. Let's see. This is I Dream of Shogi. All of I Dream of Shogi's arguments are on the line here. If he loses this game, there goes the argument that it's not a win for Sente. And if he wins this game, then we'll just say it's not a big enough sample size. Let's see. Good times. Oops. Volley. There was one game where they had English commentary with Carolina and one Japanese player fluent in English. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. It's tough to get that out there. It takes... Title matches are so long. They're so long. They need so much effort, to be able to stream a game like that or to be able to commentate a game like that. It's a lot of effort. And especially with the Western Shogi player base being so small, it's hard to justify that. Like, why would what is going to motivate over time? What is going to motivate someone who has of Carolina's caliber? This is a professional level shogi player. What's going to motivate them to continue to spend their time on something that ends up not being even self-sustaining in terms of finances? It's tough. That's a different topic, but it's why when we get stuff like that, I appreciate it so much. Like I Dream of Shogi's channel, I don't think I've shilled it today. I've been shilling other channels, but this channel, this is now my connection to the pro game. This is my connection to the pro game. And it's after the fact, but it is making me more interested because I love how he treats these reviews. It's just fun. It's fun. It's fun to think about the game. It's fun to learn things. It's fun to cheer a bit for people, get a little bit of that story that we might not be privy to here as non-Japanese speakers. And it's just a great thing, and I'm appreciative that we have someone like him doing that, because clearly he's not making money from that. He's doing it out of the love of the game. But we only get one or two every so often. And that's the trade-off, I think, of the love of the game thing. At some point, someone needs to pay the bills, and at some point, someone even if it's not paying the bills, someone needs to see likes or views, to justify continued play. I'm definitely cheering for I Dream of Shogi here, but for the argument's sake, for the Sente Gote argument, this is the only time you'll ever see me 5%, even 5% cheering against I Dream of Shogi. So 5% of me is hoping just for the lulls, for the bogus argument. For the bogus argument. I think he's going to win here, though. There's no his defense is okay. So now the one gap is mate, right? There's no bishop here, right? The one gap is mate. Gold, run. Yeah, because this is already... gold. Ooh. Bishop. Now, is it gold? Gold. He runs. That's nice. That's nice. Yeah, set up the Hishi. Mature. That's mature. That's what we in the business call a mature move. Does it work? I don't think it works. I don't think he's got enough. I don't think Sente has enough. I don't think Sente has enough, but if he does, it's because of the Sente advantage. Hey, Taylor, what did you miss? I played some Shogi mate battles. Played some Shogi Wars mate battles. I think I played a game on either 81 Dojo or Shogi Wars. We watched we watched a Tournament to King game and watched a couple KKR during Shogi games, and we've been chatting about Shogi. We've been chatting about Shogi. Long story short, been chatting about Shogi. The recent discussion has been about the sort of competitive integrity of the Sente advantage in Shogi. And it's always an interesting topic to me. Wow. You know, these good players, you know, darn them and their resiliency. That's an interesting move. I think it's still mate. I do think it's still mate. I don't think there's any way to really get the king, our king, in a position where it's. Is he going to drop the silver here? Just to renew? Yeah. Look at this beautiful symmetry. Look at this. I mean, this is a stunning position. So the idea is going to be take. No, you can't drop the bishop. GG. Gote wins. Gote wins. Gote wins. Never a doubt. I mean, there is the rating difference. So we'll discount this. You know, its sample size is small, but and the rating difference is significant. So in the end, this doesn't tell us anything about the Sente Gote discussion. But it makes us bigger fans of I Dream of Shogi, which is the most important thing. Thought I saw a bug flying around. Oh man, that was. Oh, I want to go back in there. I just want to take I'm going to take a screenshot here. Oh, that's not the position. Oh, I'm. All right, that's good enough. Actually, I'm going to flip the board and take another screenshot. All right, I've got my screenshots. I just think this is a really, really pretty position. You know, the symmetry here. The only problem is this knight. I wish this knight wasn't here, but I can edit out this knight in post. I'll edit out this knight. But yeah, really pretty position. Don't see this. I don't think you see this kind of stuff often. All right. I think that's going to be it. I suppose that'll be it for the day. Just check out Lee Shogi. No arenas. Yeah, it's been fun. My voice is starting to get a little dry. I've got no liquid. It's getting a little sore. So thank you, everybody. Fun time, fun games. Congrats to my opponents. Thank you for the games. Thanks to everyone who's watching. Thanks for the support, as always. And yeah, just really, really fun stuff. Shogi is a great game. And I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.